Naomi Osaka light Olympic cauldron at Tokyo 2020 opening ceremony. Tokyo CNN, with no fans in attendance and reduced the number of athletes joining the parade, the Tokyo Olympics opening ceremony officially kicked off the Summer Games on Friday as tennis star Naomi Osaka lit the cauldron. Earlier on Friday, a request from Tokyo 2020 organizers to push back Osaka's opening march of the Olympics from Saturday to Sunday was granted ahead of the opening ceremony, fueling the speculation that the four-time Grand Slam champion, who is making her Olympic debut on home soil, might light the cauldron. The daughter of the Japanese mother and Haitian American father, Osaka was born in Japan but moved to the US when she was 3 years old. Earlier this month, citing her mental health, Osaka withdrew from the French Open, revealing afterwards that she had suffered a long bout of depression since winning her first Grand Slam title in 2018. She later also withdrew from Wimbledon. The ceremony drew to the close around midnight in Japan as the spectacular firework display illuminated the Tokyo night sky. The surreal circumstances of the game's curtain raiser, unlike any other previous opening ceremony, provided a glimpse of what is to come over the next 16 days, with the coronavirus pandemic set to loom large over proceedings. While opening ceremonies of the Olympics are usually staged in front of packed stands, spectators were kept away in Tokyo. Instead, many lined the fences around the city's national stadium throughout the day, while others gathered outside the venue to protest. According to Tokyo 2020 organizers, 950 people attended the opening ceremony, only a handful in a venue with a capacity of 68,000 as the 206 delegations competing were officially welcomed to the Games. U.S. First Lady Jill Biden and French President Emmanuel Macron attended the event, with athletes expected to arrive in the Olympic Village 5 days prior to their competition and depart a maximum of 2 days after. Fewer took part in the Parade of Nations compared to previous Olympics. Fireworks light up the sky over the Olympic Stadium during the Tokyo Olympics opening ceremony. Team USA, for example, had more than 200 athletes walking through the stadium out of the team that is over 600 strong, while 63 of Australia's 472 athletes took part. I think it's unfortunate. American triple jumper Will Clay told the reporters about some athletes not being able to attend the opening ceremony due to restrictions. My first Olympics in 2012, I walked and I was able to meet and take pictures with some of my idols in sport. Some of the athletes that I looked up to, like Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, and actually being able to spend time with these people while we were preparing to do opening ceremonies, said Clay, referring to the NBA great. And those are the memories that last a lifetime. For someone who this may be their first Olympics, it's a once in a lifetime thing. I never know if I will be able to get back to that stage. Traditional Tongan dress. If this was an opening ceremony like no other, one thing remains unchanged compared to past Olympics: the shirtless Tongan Pita Taupatopua made a return. Taupatopua first caught an attention of Olympic spectators in Rio 5 years ago when he appears wearing traditional Tongan dress and covered in oil. He then repeated the act at the Pyeongchang Winter Olympics 2 years ago. Pita Taupatopua leads out Team Tonga during the opening ceremony. However, the Taupatopua had competition this time around with Vanuatu's flag bearer, Roa Rilio, also coming out shirtless and oiled. Many of the athletes remained socially distant as they walked through the stadium, but others, such as Argentina and Portugal, were exuberant, breaking into cheering and dancing. The procession began with Greece, the first nation to host the modern Olympic Games, whose athletics were followed by those from the 29-strong refugee Olympic team. When debuted at the 2016 Rio Olympics, it concluded with the US and France, the two countries hosting the next two editions of the Games, and finally Japan. Legendary basketball player Sue Bird and baseball star Eddie Alvarez carried the flag for the US, which was cheered on from the stands by First Lady Jill Biden. American gymnast Simone Biles is the defending Olympic champion in the individual all-around, and if the high-flying 24-year-old wins in Tokyo, she will be the first woman to repeat since Vera Kozlowska in 1968. Many consider Biles to be the greatest gymnast of all time. Over the past few years, she has astonished us with never-before-seen movies. There are now 4 original skills that are named after her, and earlier this year, she became the first woman to land the Yuchenko double pike belt in competition. The ceremony was attended by Japan's Emperor Naruhito and included performances that paid tribute to the country's culture and history. A model of Mount Fuji, the iconic peak that towers over Tokyo, was placed in the stadium and presided over the dancers and singers who took to the stage at the start of the event. They were also tributes to those who have lost their lives during the pandemic, as well as to the 11 Israeli athletes killed in the terror attack at the 1972 München Olympics. How the coronavirus pandemic has affected athletes over the past 18 months was also acknowledged. Japanese boxer and nurse Arisa Tsubasa, whose Olympic dreams were dashed when the qualifying event was cancelled, was seen running alone on a treadmill in darkness at the start of the Olympic ceremony. Today is a moment of hope, said International Olympic Committee President Thomas Bach. Yes, it is very different from what all of us had imagined, but let us cherish this moment because finally we were all here together. The athletes from 205 National Olympic Committee and the IOC Refugee Olympic Team living under one roof together in the Olympic Village. This is the unifying power of sport. This is the message of solidarity, the message of peace, and message of resilience. This gives all of us hope for our further journey together. Performers are seen during the opening ceremony of the Tokyo Olympics. This is the second time that Tokyo has hosted the games, having previously done so in 1964, but the build-up to the opening ceremony in 2021 was mired in controversy. Director Kentaro Kobayashi was dismissed Thursday following past comments that ridiculed the painful fact of history. According to Tokyo 2020 organizers, local media reports said he made anti-Semitic comments in the 1998 Comedy Act about the Holocaust. Kobayashi later apologized for his comment. That was after musician Keigo Oyamada, the composer for both the opening and closing ceremonies, announced his intention to step down this week after all the interviews of bullying behavior resurfaced. Several sports have already got underway in Tokyo in advance of the opening ceremony. Archery, baseball, softball, equestrian, football, rowing, and shooting. For Friday event, a unique occasion for what is said to be a unique games, marks the official beginning of the Tokyo Olympics, albeit a year later than originally planned. From Saturday, the first medals of the games will be distributed. After months of challenges and uncertainties, Olympic organizers will finally be able to let sports do the talking.